Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Halloween makeup video tutorial thing. And as you can tell from the title, it is a Mexican skull candy, a Catrina, a Calaberita, Llorona, whatever you want to call it. Now, I am Mexican, this is part of my culture. Before you start saying anything about cultural appropriation and Halloween and blah 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 blah, we have this thing called Dia de los Muertos and it's on the 2nd of November. You can find a lot of info out there, just Google it. I'm not going to tell you all about it because it's a makeup tutorial, but I just want to get that disclaimer out of the way. And also, I did this DIY flower crown. These are real flowers. I did this myself, so after watching this video you can go watch the DIY at the end of this. And yeah, just those two little things aside, I had loads of fun creating this. Honestly, I just had 2 photos, like I'll insert them right now, for inspiration, and I just ended up creating this, and I had a lot of fun. I feel like I could have done a little bit better with different things in different areas, but hey, we live, we learn, we improve every single time we put makeup on and we play with them. So yeah, I'm not going to ramble any more, so let's just go ahead and get started with the tutorial.
Okay guys, as you can tell there, I'm super excited. Also, I'm using my microphone. I'm finally back home, so I'm editing and I have my good old microphone, so I hope the audio is a lot better now. Anyway, I'm starting with the brow blocking thing. So I'm just using a glue stick to block them, and I go back and forth between the glue stick and the RCMA no color powder. And I just brush my brows up and then pack it on with a wedge sponge. I didn't like that brow, so I did start it over. And I did that about 3 times with the glue stick and everything before I went in with the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 3. And I kind of like, you know, color corrected. I blocked the color of my brows and made sure there were like no holes or anything, and then went back in with the powder after I finished doing that, as you can see there. And it's looking a little bit more neutralized. And then, right there I'm like filming TikToks and shit, so I'm sorry. Then I started to go in with the Mehron paints, and the Mehron paints are essentially the only thing I use throughout the whole makeup look. And I just start with the lightest to darkest. I just start with the white and started tracing more or less where I wanted the, you know, shape of the eyes and the teeth to go. I had an image, like, you know, to reference and to look at, because like I couldn't, like, you know, do it off the top of my head. Like, I did have a little bit of creativity and, like, you know, things from the top of my head, but I just, you know, I had to look at it because they're actual like Mexican skull candy, and I didn't want to get it wrong and, like, you know, make it look all weird. So yeah. I went in with the teeth first, and I started kind of like, you know, drawing the shape, doing the shape, and, you know, tracing the white. And I went with the blue next to create like the little circle things around the eyes. I don't know what they're called, please don't ask me. But yeah, I decided to use like basically all the Mehron paints that I have. So, and then I also mixed colors between them. So I scraped a little bit of, like, you know, color off and mixed them. So you're gonna see that next. So bear with me. This look did take me 5 hours, so I have to speed everything up as much as I can. And yeah, so I'm just creating the, you know, blue little curve things right there, as you can see, making them opaque, making them even, going back and forth. And then I go in with the black to create the black, you know, eyes of the Calaberita skull, you know? Drink a little bit of water, drink, got everything full of paint, drank some paint too. And yeah, I just went back and forth. I used the black paint for that, and I used a thinner and thinner brush to kind of, like, you know, perfect the outer corners, and I didn't want to get, like, you know, the outer edges a bit too, like, messy. So I am using paint brushes, but I'm also using like liner brushes and super fine miniature brushes for painting watercolor. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Anyway, I went in with the nose bit then, because I was already using black, and I'm like, might as well. So I went in with the black there, and then I tried to perfect everything around it. And then I started to go in there. I don't know if you can see that. And I believe I showed it, but I don't know what that is. I am using the Mehron yellow paint. I don't think you've seen it on camera before. So yeah, that's what I just use. I use a very thin, very thin brush to try to create that, like, you know, outer corner of the... I feel like it looks like a bit flowery. So yeah, I'm gonna just call it like flowery bit around the eye. I don't know. So I just trace that on the outer corner, and then just, you know, make sure I'm perfecting it, because it is like meshing and blending with the blue. I don't want it to turn too like green or anything. So I'm trying to like my hardest to just do it on the outside, and then start to, like, you know, go in like a little bit, and then I go back in with the paint like as it dries and gets a little bit tacky. That's when I start packing the color even more. So that's what you're seeing right there. I'm packing on the color so it looks yellow and not like, greenish with a blue hint under it or anything like that. So my recommendation is to make sure that, you know, you're doing it on like your skin, not on top of the blue, so the colors don't blend. And also if you want to pack on the color, just make sure the paints are like slightly tacky, getting slightly dry. And yeah, perfecting with the black again, and then that's when I start finishing up the mouth with the teeth. So I grab a brush and I start, you know, going around it with the white paint and the black paint, and I just go back and forth between both of them, because I just don't want to, you know, blend colors that I don't want them to blend, you know. It's just the whole process, like I said, but I did have a lot of fun creating this. So yeah, as you can tell there, I'm trying to get into like, you know, this crook and little bits where I don't want the paint to mix. So I have to like go between brushes, paint brushes and makeup brushes to get into the white between the nose and the flowery bit and the black, so it just doesn't mix. So that's a bit difficult. That's the only tip that I would tell you, like maybe do that first before doing like the teeth. So yeah, to go for like the little gaps, I did use like a makeup brush. This is an angled brush, but for the rest of the face I am using a paintbrush because it's a little bit thicker, it's easier, and I did go for a circular shape to try to mimic the skull candy shape. I'm not trying to like, you know, go into my hairline and like merge everything. I'm trying to create like, you know, the skull candy circle type of thing. That's what I went for, at least. And then since I was already using the white paint, I made the teeth a little bit more opaque, and then I made sure to I mean, as you can see there, I'm trying to like, you know, create that gap effect, but I'm laughing because like the paint kept on going into my mouth, so just be careful with that. Like, try to not get it way too close to your mouth, and maybe just blend it and leave it there so it starts like blending naturally as you move your mouth, and then see where you need to remove and like, you know, take that away. So I'm not gonna lie there, like I did that like middle line squeal line because I was looking at a skull candy, but I wasn't liking it, so I ended up erasing it later, you'll see. But there I'm just like adding detail, like lines, and this is when I really needed the picture references with the skull candy, because all skull candy, Mexican skull candies, are like super detailed and colorful and everything, so I tried to do that, and then I ended up mixing paints and things. That's what you see me doing there. I'm mixing the like, you know, red and white paints to create the flower that you saw at the beginning. So yeah, as you see there, and then I'm just creating like, you know, the little lines, some detail, flowers, and I had just enough paint to create everything. I still had some left at the end of it, so you could just save it or leave it. I was using the, you know, a mixing tray, but I think it would be best if you used like an actual paint tray. Like, yeah, I feel like that's just a little bit easier. But anywho, I went in with even more detail, created like purple flowers, and then like, you know, orange spots. Like I feel like they're flower petals. That's what I try to go for, but you don't really look, it doesn't really, I mean, you know what I mean. There are some flowers, Mexican flowers called cempasúchil flowers, and that's what I tried to mimic. I also threw in some like, you know, purple ones and blue ones, and just tried to create it and like give it a little bit more detailed depth. Went in with the yellow to create like, you know, the center of the flower, and you know, back and forth, back and forth. I had to move around the face and do it in different spots because I need to let the paint dry before I start going in with other layers so the paint doesn't merge. So that's the tip that I could tell you if you want to go with detail. This is my experience so far with the paints. And I started drawing lines and like a little bit more of shading around. I don't want to shade it too much because the skull candy at the end of the day is not like realistic or anything like that. They are just like decorated like that, and like I said, just more lines, more detail, more petals. And then I went back in with the black spots that like, you know, started fading because I've moved my face around. And then for the inner bit, you can't put the Mehron paints in your waterline because they are water activated, so it will become a mess and it's not eye safe really, so don't do that. I grabbed the BH Cosmetics power pencil in the shade black, and yeah, basically this is the look done. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial and tips and tricks of how to like, you know, get this look. So yeah, just recommend using a waterproof mascara, waterproof eyeliner, and I threw some lashes, but you don't really have to throw some lashes. But yeah. So this is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this. It took me
bloody ages to film. It's been like 4.5 hours at least. I want to say I started filming this at 3 PM and it's like 8:30. So yeah, 5 hours in and we're just still grinding, still going. I had a load of fun creating this. Tag me if you recreate this look, and if you do something similar or you use the same technique or you learned something from this video, just, you know, leave me a comment, tag me, send me a message. I really appreciate all of those things. All of them. They're the sweetest little thing. I think I just got paint now. I got paint on my chin. I haven't really set it. That's one thing I wanted to say. I haven't set it with anything, so you could just use translucent powder with a big fluffy brush and just pat it gently after the paint dries, and then some setting spray, and then you're good to go. You could use this for Halloween and it won't move, but because I'm just, you know, showing a tutorial, like, I just don't feel the need to do that, so yeah. Also, like I said at the beginning of the tutorial video, the intro, this crown, I made it myself. It's with real flowers. There's a video on this, so you reach the end of the video, you can go and watch this. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, go to the end screen and that's going to be there. There's also a playlist full of Halloween videos, so if you want to check other videos out and have other inspiration, you're more than welcome. And there's also a vlog of when I got the flowers at the market here in Mexico. So if you're interested and you want to see what it looks like, and you want to see like skull candies and this and that, just, you know, look out for my second channel. Everything's going to be linked in the description box. All my channels, socials, all the products I use, everything. Don't forget to check that video out of the crown. And I'll see you in the next Halloween tutorial. Bye bye!